When a child has, there are two, has strabismus, prisms, developmental issues, where do I start with the movement lesson? Now, first of all, I get it that people can't always provide a video. However, this is where you have to start learning how to do an evaluation other than what you can write down. And this is why I don't write a lot of that stuff down. When I write stuff back, and so please, people write me stuff and they expect a comment. I tell you, no matter how I comment, people are like, Michelle, you don't have to be so rude. You're pretty short with that. I am short. When I'm writing, I'm just like, bah. When I can do a live, I can have a bit more time to sit and visualize. When I'm typing, my visualization processes are off. And it's really hard to write about movement. And I mean, I might have 8 books out so far, but it is hard to write about movement. When I see movement, I touch movement, I can feel movement, and now I've got to type about it. And so I don't comment back a lot in the comments. I'm capable of writing, but people tend to find that, again, not as warm and fuzzy, short, and I'm like, because you can see it. Where's a vision report? I don't have the paragraph there. And so it is a shortness of mine, and I realize it, so I try to avoid it because I can't sit and write three paragraphs back to someone. And then when I do, then the verbiage starts going back and forth, and I need to see a video. That being said, I get it with some people, I just can't see it. So here's a blanket statement. At 2 years old, still having strabismus, my first conversation is, first of all, what are we looking at with the strabismus, and why isn't surgery being scheduled? Or glasses. Forget the prisms right now. We're looking at the strabismus. Not knowing what your client's script is, or your child's script is a big disservice to you. I get it. You hear, can't get the report. I can't get the. You need to know where your kids are at. It's sort of like. It's like going to the shoe store and saying, what size shoe does your child wear? I don't know, get anything for a 4-year-old. It doesn't work like that. So it's the same thing with eyes. When they say too, you don't need glasses, you do need glasses. Why? Why are we doing this? So when a child doesn't have binocular vision and then doesn't have convergence, this is the first thing that needs to be dealt with. So when a child doesn't have binocular vision and convergence, why? So having a strabismus, having an eye coming in, the esotropia, first of all, is it a muscle-based esotropia, or is it something that we need glasses for? I have a girlfriend, God, I love her. It was wild. Her glasses broke, her eye is against her nose, and she puts her glasses on and that sucker pops straight. I don't know how she does it. She's probably the most brightest people I know. She's also named Michelle, but that was wild to see. So, and sometimes you just have a muscle that's pulled in, and therefore you have the strabismus. Usually if there's a muscle pulled in like to that degree, even to my girlfriend, usually around this age, surgery is being considered. The reason a lot of parents don't like the surgery because they hear surgeries. Well, if it's a good doctor, it is surgeries. Because what they do is they cannot overcorrect the eye. So if the eye is turning in, right? What they do is they lightly cut the muscles here. Your child might have red within after surgery, but what they're doing is they're trying to bring the eye near to binocular vision or near to straight or central vision, however you want to look at it. They don't want to go past that because if they go into exotropia, which is the eye turning out, they can't bring it back. Once they overcorrect. So what they do is they loosen the muscle. What they hope is enough for the eye to start going straight. And then again with patching and such, you strengthen that eye for it to become binocular. And from binocular vision, we go into convergence. If that does not work, let's say in 6 months' time, then they might go in again, do another little minor surgery to, again, bring it close to centered, but not to overcorrect. They can't bring it back. I can't stress that enough. So anybody who says they can do that on one shot, right, I'd run, right? It might take several surgeries to bring out that eye. They don't want to mess with it. A good surgeon will take their time with that. However, I've got a wonderful girl that's like this, and NHS won't touch it till they're age 6. That's just disgusting. So you're having to deal with the system sometimes with that, or you're dealing with what's going on with the with what's going on with the system, but also what's going on with the parents' views or the doctor's views. So there's three things that come into that. But a strabismus past 2 is now serious and should be looked at. The second of all, why prisms? Gosh, guys, can you let kids have good eyesight to begin with? Why are we messing in with prisms? This whole big thing where we're exciting the brain and this, you excite the brain with good vision. If the child cannot see, right, and to sit there and overcompensate with visions, go right now to Walmart and get a pair of over-the-counter bifocals or something, or just where you have readers that are, and you try and walk around with the readers like that and go straight. It's not easy messing with eyes. It's not, and we have compensation skills. They do not. The most important thing at 2, if you want walking, is active-passive convergence, where the child should be able to look closely and then look far away and then look closely again. Because if they can't look down the hallway and come back, so if they have short vision, because again, they're developmentally delayed, since they're not walking, their field of vision is successfully around 2 to 3 feet. So all of a sudden they see something and they go, drop. My kid can't take a step. Yeah, because visually you've excited them with the speck of paper there, but they can't, you know what I mean? At 2, they should be like going, mommy, mommy, and just like looking down the hallway. And so again, you're not using those visual muscles, especially if you don't have convergence, because convergence is this. Please don't go ahead and do this. But convergence is also this to this. This to this. So notice how you're converging, right? You're actively converging. Then your eyes go passive. They're still converging because they're looking at me. And then they go this and they converge again, right? So that's active passive convergence. So they should be able to do it this way first and then this way first, short to long distance. This is where you get a lot of kiddos that can look at the paper and can't look at the teacher. They're getting too much, let's say, tablet time. That will also weaken the convergence in the brain. There's many reasons for that. So, but that's just an example. So those are the things that you need for. So what you're looking for, first of all, is does she have her core stability, which is in her breath? When you're looking for vision across midline, right? And a vision across midline, the breath functions should be typical with that. And so when they're not, so in other words, if I move a certain way, let's say I'm going to lose my balance. Well, I'm also going to catch my breath. Those kind of things. So they won't move into certain ranges. With prism glasses, it's really hard to cross a visual midline. So these are things to look at. So again, there's a horizontal and a vertical midline. But then there's a peripheral midline where I should be able to, right, to have that side vision instead of, right? But if I'm worried, again, if I have prisms, I have verticos, I have all this going on, and I go over here, it's like, whoa. So I'm just going to avoid looking over there. And that's what autistic kids do too. So again, guys, can we just evaluate the problem is and find a solution that works for that child? And the solution for that child is first, before we mess with any of the senses, we have to have a good sense. We have a good sense of gravity. We have to have a good sense of touch. We have to have a good sense of pain. All the subsenses come into play, balance and counterbalance, vision, hearing, all of those. There's a topical senses and there's a subsenses. And they just have to be as neutral as possible, but working together. When you can't go in and out of standing because you don't have that convergence or that depth perception of going from a seated position into a standing position, that alone would be the first step that has to be worked on with the vision. But I can tell you right now, with strabismus, and everybody can do this, so just cross your eyes and try to look up. It's not easy. You probably can do down, but you can't look up. Right? And this is, and now try and look to side, but keep your eyes crossed. Well, that's where you can see an interruption of a midline crossing. And this is where you can see an interruption if you're trying to go from those vertical skills and maybe sitting and so forth into the locomotion skills of walking, standing, and to walk. The vision going to stand up has to be able to cross that midline, has to be able to work the field. And that's where you need to make sure that the child's working on. But But by understanding where the eyesight was, not having correct glasses, now jumping to prisms, you just, what do you work on? I'm with you. I just don't understand it. I just think that you should stabilize the vision, normalize the vision. What is the script? And then going into that. Thank you.